Today is Monday, June the 26th, and it's time for us to go over the news. Cue the music. Hey, welcome to UFO report number 1616. And as I mentioned yesterday, we have two articles to cover because they are becoming the topic of conversation. The things that make you go, The first one, of course, has to do with the group Anonymous, or allegedly it's the group Anonymous. All we know is somebody with a mask and a robe sitting behind a desk with some papers in his hand, which he's not even reading because I don't see how the hell you can see through that mask. But instead of telling you and giving you the story, we're going to let the video that Anonymous posted tell you, and we're not going to listen to the whole thing because it's about 12 minutes long and ain't nobody got time for that. So here's a clip from your friendly neighborhood anonymous person.
NASA, mankind is about to discover extraterrestrial life. This was stated by the spokesman of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration during one of the last hearings of the Committee for Science, Space and Technology of the United States. Are you ready for disclosure? Or are you expecting little microorganisms on a distant moon in our solar system? There are many who claim that unofficially, mankind has already made contact with aliens, and not just little microorganism floating around inside a massive alien ocean, but advanced space-faring civilizations. 25 years ago, we didn't know that planets existed beyond our solar system. Today, we have confirmed the existence of over 3,400 exoplanets that orbit other suns. And we continue to make new discoveries. Professor Thomas Zurbuchen, Associate Administrator of the Science Mission Directorate at NASA headquarters in Washington, said our civilization is on the verge of discovering evidence of alien life in the cosmos. Taking into account all of the different activities and missions that are specifically searching for evidence of alien life, we are on the verge of making one of the most profound, unprecedented discoveries in history, said Zurbuchen during the hearing of the Committee on American Science, Space, and Technology. At the hearing, Professor Zurbuchen mentioned all of NASA's recent achievements in their quest for extraterrestrial life that support his claim. 2 weeks ago, NASA's Cassini mission demonstrated the presence of hydrogen in Saturn's moon Enceladus, while the Hubble team announced the results of the second observation of the oceans of Europa, one of the moons of Jupiter. Both discoveries are potential evidence of life, said the NASA spokesman, who also highlighted the advances made in astrobiology. And while we have not yet found definitive signs of life elsewhere, our search is making remarkable progress, said Zurbuchen, who noted that NASA's number of astrobiology missions is on the rise. Mars 2020, our next explorer, and will continue to advance this quest by researching a region on Mars where the ancient environment may have been favorable for microbial life. The mission will also look for signs of past life and collect samples that will be brought back to Earth, said Professor Zurbuchen. The NASA Transition Authorization Act of 2017, which President Trump signed into law last month, ensures continued American leadership in astrobiology and the search for life. One of our favorite quotes comes from Dr. Brian O'Leary, a former NASA astronaut and Princeton physics professor. There is abundant evidence that we are being contacted, that civilizations have been monitoring us for a very long time. That their appearance is bizarre from any type of traditional materialistic Western point of view. That these visitors use the technologies of consciousness, they use droids, they use co-rotating magnetic disks for their propulsion systems, which seems to be a common denominator of the UFO phenomenon.
Even though NASA is still years away from making the announcement of extraterrestrial life, it was very important to have a protocol that transmits peace and tranquility to mankind before such a historic event happens. The alien protocol was inspired by several sources, and even though such beings would not be identical to humans, we should expect to find significant parallels.
Well, there you go, folks. That is the Masked Wonder from Anonymous. And if you listen to the entire video, they go into a lot of detail. Now, as I said before, if you've been listening to the podcast or if you're on the UFO news searching and reading, and if you take the time to look at this video and listen to what this guy is saying, it could be a gal because the voice has been altered digitally. But nonetheless, the issue here is that this anonymous person, all they do is that they pretty much go over every freaking story that NASA had, possibly in the last year. They combine that with a lot of circumstantial evidence, NASA people talking crap on their Twitter accounts. And then what I found fascinating is that it appears, and for those of you who have watched Stephen Greer's videos in the past, or even watched Unacknowledged, there's a lot of stuff being said by Mr. Anonymous that sounds just like Stephen Greer's words. It's almost like they just freshly watched Unacknowledged and decided to put on a mask and go to town. And I guess that's what makes it popular, right? You put on a mask and you're like, freedom for the people, we're going to get attacked by aliens. And NASA is at the helm. They're using all these ancient books or books that they wrote or techniques, or I don't know what the hell is wrong with these people. The problem is that you take this anonymous group, and just because they put on a mask and do all the funky digital editing to their videos, all of a sudden everything that NASA has been saying becomes 3D, right? I mean, none of this is hidden. It's all available for you. The story on the TRAPPIST system, the story on Kepler, all the planets that they found. Heck, the guy from NASA who just recently tweeted about the recent discovery of the over 230 planets that they found, that's not a big secret. There is no hidden agenda. I mean, listen, Stephen Greer has been pumping the airways with this idea of this, false flag alien attack. That basically we're being prepared for an attack that's going to get the entire planet together, but is going to put the power of mankind in the hands of only a few people in the world. Because they're going to make it seem like someone from 4.2 far is going to kick our asses. I don't know about you guys, but the whole idea that NASA is part of this plan, to me, it's a little far-fetched. The truth is that anyone that can travel from 4.2 far here could probably kick our ass in a moment's notice. And that's the truth. If you've been traveling from, 13 billion light years, or you're interdimensional and you just blink in and out, chances are you have the technology to wipe everybody off the damn planet and not even think twice. So I don't think that a false flag operation is necessarily that bad if it's going to protect us from things that we are powerless against. Now, am I saying that this is what's happening? No, I don't think that's happening. You guys make the call. You've heard the video. You can see the rest of it on YouTube. The link is in the description. But I think Anonymous is just trying to get some views, some clickable content for those that want to believe what they basically did was a news wrap-up of the last year's events with a little Greer added for extra goodness. So really, like I said before, you guys take a look at it, listen to the video, really listen to what they're talking about because you've heard it before, it's been in the news, it's nothing new. And if you think that there is a false flag heading your way, let me know. Let's chat about it. Or send me whatever proof you have. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Or if you just want to email me directly, you can email me at manny@ufobusterradio.com. Now, the people at Anonymous might not like the fact that I said that, so they might not be at ufobusterradio.com in the next few hours. But with that said, what can you do? Crap happens.
Coming to you from the hills of Texas right here, UFO Buster Radio is now on the air. You can visit Manny and Big O at ufobusterradio.com. That's right, this is Bubba Doohickey saying, boys, squeal like a pig. Oink, oink, oink.
Now, the next story is very fascinating because, in a way, it kind of ties into the Anonymous story, right? Because we have a representative from Tennessee and a representative from the state of Alabama dropping a bill saying that we need to start a new division of the Air Force to defend us with concerns that deal with space. Alongside the Marine Corps would be the Space Corps. Now, the representatives that penned this bill, they are both on the House Armed Services Committee, and their names are Jim Cooper of Tennessee and Mike Rogers of Alabama. So Representative Jim Cooper of Tennessee and Mike Rogers of Alabama said in a statement that they were convinced that the Department of Defense is unable to take the measures necessary to address these challenges effectively and decisively, or even recognize the nature and scale of its problems. So basically what they're saying is we're out of luck when it comes to space. We are just not there. We can't handle it. Now, the article goes along to say that what the bill is for is to create this new branch of the Air Force, and it is to protect the nation's assets in low Earth orbit. Now, when they say low Earth orbit, they're talking about satellites and things like that. One of their concerns was that Russia and China are making headway in this little space race that's going on. I myself have not seen anything come out of China other than that failed moon lander. But, there might be other stuff going on that we are not aware of because this is coming from the Armed Services Committee. In addition, the statement by these House representatives include the following. Not only are there developments by adversaries, but we are imposing upon the national security space enterprise a crippling organizational and management structure and an acquisition system that has led to delays and cost overruns. In short, they've got a lot of damn red tape and they're screwing stuff over regarding space, and we need to get rid of it to get this moving. Now, there is one issue here, and that is that anyone that's looked at the news has seen time and time again that there is already a secret space plane. The Air Force initially tried to hide their little mini version of the space shuttle that was developed by Boeing called the X-37B. But, Intrepid Media has been making sure that they follow the events of this particular craft, and they've caught it on video on re-entry a few times. Recently, the secret space plane, which is not so secret, landed, I want to say it was back in the spring, sometime in April, after spending 700 days in orbit. That is a long damn time to just be hanging out up there. There is a reason why that thing is up there. It could be that they're testing it to see the effects of long time space. There could be a lot of experiments going on, making sure that future space planes can have pilots. The effects of long travel in a space environment. Whatever the case is, the Air Force is already up there. This will just make it official. If this bill is passed by the House and then subsequently signed by Donald J. Trump, the Space Corps will actually be official January 1st of 2019. Now, I do believe that shortly after that, there is that mission to Mars to get a definitive answer of whether or not we have microbial life there. So we kind of go back to what we've been saying for some time. Is this the pace that NASA is going to take us through, that the government will take us through? The steady run towards discovery of alien life in the form of microbes. Because the truth is that the way they're going, until they show us an amoeba on another planet or moon, chances are that this so-called false flag event won't happen until they at least get us over the initial hump, the initial shock of there being a potential of life somewhere else. Now, I could be wrong. This could happen. It's not entirely far-fetched, but I'm leaning towards the whole false flag thing is merely a selling point for clicks and videos and movies. So that is the report for today. I thank you guys for stopping by. And I hope you enjoyed the interview from Sunday's episode because it was fantastic. And if you guys did not listen to the whole thing, go back. Our special guest did arrive halfway through the episode. And if you stopped listening, go back and listen because it is an amazing story. So with that, this is Manny Moonraker and I'm checking out. Catch you on Wednesday. Peace.